Hello everybody and welcome back to Ethan's Day Off, episode 11. Today we are having an interview with the one and only Derek Shanklin. Derek Shanklin has been my friend for the past almost 2 years. We originally had met back in high school, but we did not really know each other until about January of 2023 when I had offered him some photography services when he was doing a concert out in Akron, Ohio for some of his musical endeavors. Ever since then, he has become one of my best friends. And I'll tell you what, he is one of the most intricate, interesting, nuanced people on this planet, and he's taught me a lot of really interesting things. You can hear his music in the background. It will be linked in the description for you to hear and to share with other people. But without further ado, I bring to you Derek Shanklin. What would you say? You say John?
Yeah, John. John, like if you guys have ever heard like a sports announcer, there's always one that's named John. So that, John, he's really having an off day, isn't he, John? So John is just like a unit of measurement. It's like a general term.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you guys hear John a lot, there's nobody named John. It's just like a general term.
All right. Welcome back, everybody, to Ethan's Day Off. This would be 11.
Makes
Episode
sense for
11.
Me, 11:47.
11:47. Ladies and gentlemen, currently right now I'm not in Tennessee at the moment. I actually came back to Ohio. My mom had a wedding, so I'm back here in the meantime, and I'll be leaving here in a few hours back for the TN. But right now I have the one and only, the Derek Shanklin in front of me. So
yes, sir.
Yes,
Sorry,
sir.
that's a little loud.
Yeah. No, it's all good. Derek, who are you?
Derek. Who am I? That's a tough question. I don't know why it's a tough question. My name is Derek Shanklin. I'm from Massillon, Ohio. I make music. I play basketball. I believe in God. If we're talking like on the music sense of things, my artist name is Shanklin, just my last name, with a 4 and a 7. It's kind of tough. Why is that such a hard question to answer? Who are you? Why is that such an oddly tough question? Like, I don't know. I'm me.
Yeah.
Like, I guess.
Yeah. Well, like, what do you do?
Okay.
What is it that you do?
Yeah, like I said, I'm a rapper, musician. I'm 1/5 or 6th or whatever out of the Rogue Ones, and then, I'm part of All Circles Media. Just put out our group project on January 1st titled The Rogue Tapes, Volume 1. Go check it out. It's on every platform. I think we're over 50,000, if I'm correct, on Spotify, so that feels good. And then I put The Dark Knight of Homecoming. That's my first album. It's kind of ass. There's like 2 or 3 good songs on it that I would recommend.
Which ones?
Holding Dreams and Distance are my 2 favorite. I think those are the only 2 that like still sound like me. And then that went out July 18th of 2022. So it's been over 2 years, which is crazy.
So, for people that don't know, we're currently in the middle of Massillon, Ohio. We're at a place where we actually filmed a music video.
Yep.
I'm gonna try this out because right now the wind sucks.
On the mic.
So give me just one segundo here. All right, there you go.
Yeah, nice.
So, it's a little bit better.
Nice stench of the foot.
Nice stench of the foot. I just put my my sock
really
on here.
Been living in Alaska when he takes his sock off and he's like, yeah, watch this, guys. But yeah, no, I guess more into me is I'm an artist, and I got my 2nd and 3rd albums scheduled to. The 3rd album's done. The 2nd one's scheduled for release sometime this fall or winter, and yeah, kind of just going through a changing period. So.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a whole lot that I can really talk about right now, but Can't We Agree, Lean Back, those are also singles I put out last year. So if you like rap and if you want to see the growth of somebody's journey, I guess tune in. Tune in.
So I've known Derek for about since January of 23. Did you want to talk a little bit about that?
I mean, you can. Yeah, you can.
There.
You can bring it in if you want.
Yeah. So 2023, at that point, he was doing a show over in, this would have been the Vortex, right?
Akron, yeah.
Akron, yeah. So it would have been over in Akron. I hit him up. I said, hey, I want to take pictures for you. Go from there. Just, because I had a night and I was thinking, I'm just going to go and get these photos in and get someone some good press, I suppose. And a couple months later, it's like I continue to go to these shows, and I just see more layers of this person that has this passion and this drive that I really didn't see too much in high school. We met through high school as well. Both went to Jackson.
We went to high school together, but we never really talked.
Yeah.
And then so he hits me up January, like a couple days before the show. He first hit me up for butt pics, and I was like, dude, now's not the time. And I politely declined, and then and then he hit me up like, hey, if I can't get butt pics of you, I'll take photos for you.
Yeah.
And so I was like, yeah, no, I got you. And then
I'm not saying that's what happened.
It's what happened.
Okay.
But yeah, no, he wanted to do videos and photos for a couple. We were on tour at the time, the I'm an Artist tour, and it was kind of a good time for him to come around because it was like around the same exact time that my father was passing away. So to have somebody who became like one of my close friends within like the next year and a half to 2 years or however long it's been, I guess when you lose something, you always, like, as you lose, you gain, and so there was kind of what developed from that. Like, you shot photos for a couple of the shows, a couple of which are on my Spotify that I still use for like some of my profile pictures and stuff. And then, if I remember, it was like around March is when you did like the walk across Ohio or whatever.
Back
like
in
around
May,
that, around that time, like you were practicing for it, and then when you took the walk across Ohio, excuse me, when Ethan took the walk across Ohio, I remember I hit him up when he was in the area, like around like Massillon or Worcester. I think we met in Worcester, yeah. And we talked at an Arby's, and this was like June of 23, and so a little over a year ago, and then that's like when I would say we started to like really like work, like on videos and stuff together. And we live really, really close to one another, so it was always like super accessible, super easy. And then I just kind of opened up like kind of my vision and my plan for the next like year, for the next couple of years to come. And since then, it's kind of been like a friendship, but also like a mixture of like really good friends that have like a really good friendship that's developed, but also like a really good like business relationship as well, in a sense of like he sees the potential in me, and then he fills the gaps like extremely well with his different skill set, and he makes like the things that like my visions and my creativity that I have in my head, he makes them come to life. So it's a special thing because not everybody can do that. Not everybody can take like what I'm saying or like what like my intention of a video or a photo is, and then actually make it happen. So yeah,
let's rewind for a second, because I'm also gonna try to take that off too, because I think we're set. Let's go ahead and rewind real quick, because I remember you talking about the first times that you really got into making the music and such back in 2021 with Built, being one of the earliest. What was
Built?
Yeah, what was that? What was the start of Shanklin? What did that look like?
So actually, it started freshman year. So this is like 2017 or 2018, and that's when I started like first writing music. And then I showed like some friends and kind of just kept it at that, but never like recorded anything or took it serious at all. I just kind of used it as like an outlet. And then, as time went on, 2018, 2019, like throughout high school, I said like if I felt inspired or if I heard a beat I liked, I might write something to it, but I never like went anywhere with it. Bill, I want to say I wrote in like 2018, 2019, somewhere that like 2 years before I ever recorded it. And then in March of 2021, I performed for the first time, and I actually performed Built, and then off of my phone with like just the beat, like on some. It was hilarious. Terrible performance. Please do not watch it. I think it's still up on my TikTok. It's like the first video I ever posted. And then I had a performance in April, and then I had my first set on prom night of our senior year, May 1st. That was my first set that I ever had, was right before prom. And then it's the only show that my dad came to. And then after graduation is when I like really like kind of like met. I met Charlie like a little earlier. That's when I started getting kind of closer with Charlie and like going to his house and record. So from like June and July of like 2021 is like what I would say like when I started like really making music, was like in that summer after graduation. And so I would say that's kind of like the inception of it, pretty much.
Okay. Who is Charlie for people that do not know?
So Charlie is he's my engineer. Not just my engineer. He's like the universal engineer of all circles and Rogue Ones, and he's also an artist. He's also a producer. Like he's pretty much the engine that makes the whole thing run. He runs the studio, and then he's also like a mentor of mine, like an older brother figure. He's been there through for really the last 3 years, you know, in my life, as good times, bad times, you know, all that stuff. So really influential. One of my good friends, like one of my brothers. And like I said, he's the gas that makes the car go. So, yeah.
I get you. What was the moment? What was the time, the place, like a milestone in terms of music that really made you think this is serious? This is something that could really blossom into my lifestyle.
First thing that comes to mind is when we went and opened up for Twista, May of 2022, in Cincinnati. Hold on. Dude, I don't know what the hell's going on. Sorry. I'm like all nasally today. Anyways, so yeah, May of 2022, a couple months before I put out my first album, we performed, opened up for Twista in Cincinnati for V.I. Peach's birthday. It was like a birthday party show. And it was in front of like 500 people, and that was as Rogue Ones. It was Charlie's set, but he just made it like a Rogue set, and then like half of it a Rogue set, half of it his set. So I performed Holding Dreams. It was like, you could tell I was super like cherry popped kind of moment. Like I was just enjoying it. And you know, when you get like an Airbnb with like 12, 13 people, and you know, you travel 4 hours and you stay a weekend down in Cincinnati and you're away from home and you're performing in front of 400 or 500 people. I would say that's like your first big like moment that you have is like in that situation and in that moment. So because we traveled as a group, and because it was like we had plenty of studio nights and podcasts up to that point that we recorded and did together, but and I think I was wrapping up my first album by that point. So I've been recording, not like I don't want to say I've been recording, but like, you know, I was already kind of doing it for a little bit, but that was the first thing that really made it feel like, okay, I like this. I could take this somewhere, you know. So
definitely. What's the main objective here?
What, with music?
Yeah. What's the main objective?
Still, I think my objective is kind of altered throughout the years. You know, as I've grown up and as life has changed, it's changed my outlook on life and, you know, what I want to get out of music as well as what I want to put into it. And so right now it's like I'm working a job that will hopefully make me enough money comfortably and provide me enough time and availability. So here, let me backtrack. What I've realized in the past like 2 years, like year and a half, and this is why I haven't put out much music in the last year to year and a half, is because without showing too much of my like personal side, a lot of things in my life has changed, as you know, we've talked about. And so being 19 2 years ago, or like early last year, with like no parents really. I got my stepmom, but that's about it. But my dad passed and my mom's not in my life. So like being 19, trying to figure out in this world, like moving 3-4 times in a year, first time paying bills, first time having to like do stuff like that, right? So that, unfortunately, no matter how much I don't want it to be priority number one to like pay bills and stuff, it has to be. It's just the way the world works. Right. So, you know, my mindset is, okay, let me get my finances so good that nobody, like, I can afford to take these trips and to put some money into like a South by Southwest, or to get on the radar, or to invest in myself and put time in myself. And then we got some four-wheelers driving by.
Yeah.
How you How you doing? Yeah. And then, so after I invest the time into like finding I don't want to say the easiest way to make money, but just the best way to make money for me. So what that has been is sales. So I've gotten into sales and it's commission. And so like my focus right now is to be the best person at sales I can be. If I focus on that for the next 6 months, and then that becomes like a sixth sense of mine, like another skill that I can just develop and like use, now I'm pulling in $6,000 to $10,000 a month, and that's more than enough to, you know, not just get by financially to live, but I also, like I said, I want to invest in network and travel and stuff like that with music. So the goal with music and the goal with just kind of my life is put myself in such a financial position to where I can put the amount of money behind myself to where dropping music and traveling is so worth it now. Unfortunately, if people call it the rat race or the matrix, it is a game. Like bills and taxes and like living is a game, and I don't have the luxury of being able to live with my parents or being able to like, you know, take it easy because of just what life has brought me. So which I'm grateful for, though. It pushes you to be better, to be greater, and then to also just be smarter. So what's my goal with music? To influence and inspire. Always has been. Like I want to have, even if it's 50,000 followers, like even if it's not a crazy high amount, if I have 50,000 people that genuinely like support me, travel to see me, buy stuff, like buy my merch, buy my albums, I feel like I'd be pretty happy with that. If I have 1 million, I'd be happy with that. My thing is I want to influence and inspire people, but the only way I can do that and grow my network and grow my brand is with the dollar, unfortunately. And you have to play the game to beat the game. So that's kind of like where I'm at. It's kind of like where my focus is. Like, let me just get myself in such a good position to where I can afford to take a week or a weekend or 2 weeks. And that way when I go down to a South by Southwest, it's worth it. I can actually put the full week into it and put $2,000 to $3,000 into a trip and not feel bad about it. Or I can invest in building my own studio, or I can invest in, you know, I can put a lot of money behind promotion. So when I put my music out, it actually grows. It doesn't just stand there for the same 400 streams it usually would. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I guess like the short answer with music specifically, what I want out of it, I want to influence and inspire the next generation, kids who are like me, kids who, you know, are just searching for something to grab onto, like, and be a good influence to them.
Yeah, I like what you said about the rat race as well. I mean, I know we've had the conversations before about the rat race, and when I started this blog too, this podcast and everything like that, the main objective was to document people and to really get more of an authentic experience out of life rather than the social media experience. I consider social media the main rat race of today's generation.
Yep.
Was there a time where when you went through that, like you engaged in the rat race, and like, because you seem like you seem a little more disengaged from it now, and you're more focused on the on different priorities. What was it like when you were in that kind of rat race situation?
There's a cute ass little groundhog behind us. Turn around, look at him. He's chilling. You see him? Like right in the middle. He's just eating food. So whenever he starts moving, you'll see him. There he goes.
There you go.
So I took to social media a lot, like around the time, like before my dad passed, like so 2022, and then my father passed February 2023, and after he passed, I was in social media a lot. Like when I put Can't We Agree out and Lean Back out, which was April and May of 2023. I was constantly posting, constantly like working and you know, throwing stuff into the algorithm. And I think I learned a lot because that's when I got into playlisting, and that really worked for my music and my brand and my growth. And certain things that I used and tried, and certain ways I put my money into social media, like I saw what I liked and disliked. But there's a certain thing with the face-to-face and human connection that you can't replace, and I love performing. And so, you know, if we're talking like social media rat race, I have disengaged for more of a personal reason because there's just things on the personal side that I have to focus on. And, you know, when it comes to like releasing my next album and more music to come, of course I'm going to use social media. Like you have to. It's part of the game. But, you know, I also want to just learn to develop creative ways to like also push my music, and that in-person connection like when we were shooting 1147 downtown, like meeting those people, or like performing, and then people like they follow you on Instagram or something, and they message you like, bro, I've never heard of you, but this was great. And me and you have talked about traveling. Like next year, that's one of me and Ethan's goals, is to kind of like do like little weekend trips to different like cities and just do like open mics and stuff like here and there. And if you do that, it's like that in-person connection, that little bit of like miniature exposure that you get. I don't want to say it's how you build fans, but followers on Instagram are not fans. So,
they're not. Yeah.
And there is no right way to like do this whole music thing or like build your network or build your brand. So, like I said, unfortunately, you have to take enough shots and put yourself in enough positions. Like I always say, luck is the mixture of opportunity and preparation. And so, if I'm prepared and I take the opportunity and I put myself out there and I get quote unquote lucky by meeting the right person or being in the right place at the right time, then I did my job. So it's just about being able to take those chances and do that. So that's why, like I said, the money kind of is everything, So.
It definitely is. I mean, it's a major part of things.
It sucks. It sucks that that's the truth, but it is.
It is. Yeah.
We have to play the game to beat the game.
Yeah. So let's talk about Dark Knight of Homecoming. Dark Knight of Homecoming is his first album. Yeah. It was back in July of 2022 when he released that, and he had told me a couple details about it, and I want to ask you, why did you call it the Dark Knight of Homecoming?
I was going through a breakup. It was like my first actual breakup. I was just turned 18, so I'm only 21 now. I'm not that much older, but I had like a young brain, and so I guess like, you got Homecoming King and Queen, and then you got like the royal hierarchy. So you got your prince and your princess and your whatever and so ever, and then the outside looking in is like the Dark Knight. So that's where the title for that came from, the Dark Knight of Homecoming. I don't know. I think it was necessary. Like, I wouldn't say like I'm super happy in it. My image, my sound, my aesthetic, like the things I like has all changed so much since then. But I think it was key to my start as an artist, So
Definitely. Yeah. What would you say is the learning? Like, what did you learn from that album?
That was my first time ever recording music. So I learned so much more about how to use my voice, about my sound, my beat selection, my style, all that stuff. So really, it was every song you hear on there, like they probably sound all different because they are all like just experiments. Essentially, they were my first time ever recording. So like I said, Holding Dreams, Distance, those are songs that have some of the most streams on the album, and those are very, very close to my sound, now. Beat selection and style and flows and stuff like that. And then there's songs like Built. I think the beat selection is kind of similar to what I still use now, but like I think that song's trash, respectfully. Or like Benefits of Your Love, it's not bad, but I don't know, it feels like very like NF, Eminem, which is like, I've gotten comparisons to those guys, but, or like, what's it called? What is it called? It's the fifth song. What's it called? It's right before Distance.
It's
Can't think of my own song. Untouchable.
Untouchable.
Like that. It's like real boom bap. It's real like gritty, but my delivery in it was terrible. Like I didn't deliver it well. So you just learn from it. Like you record it, you hear it. White and Gold's also one that a lot of people like, and it's a pretty decent one. But even that one, I didn't like the format of the song. So I love the hook. I love like both of my verses, but there was a certain part in the middle of the song where I did the hook too many times in a row, and it kind of like draw it out. So I just learned as an artist, like certain flows, certain formations of how the song is made, like things that as you get better and you polish your sound and you sharpen your sword, and you get better at your craft, that you naturally learn. So I would say, like I said, it was key for like a development into who I am now, because I saw what worked, what didn't, what I liked, what I didn't like, and how I could get better. So
what is the way that What's the way that Derek takes his time off? Just releases a little bit of steam.
Basketball has always been like my biggest outlet, even before music. So that even current day, like I spend 4 or 5 hours a day. Even while working 9 to 10, I still find 4 or 5 hours every day to go and get shots up and play basketball. I train a couple people, so that's always been something that's very, very close to my heart. And then outside of that, I hike. Hiking, I play video games. Just kind of relaxing. I love to cook. I love to do a lot of things. Cook, bike, kayak, hike. Bowling is a big one. Yeah, like I said, I don't know. I'm kind of like a jack of all trades. I love playing cards. I love just hanging out. So it can be as simple as, throw on some Mac DeMarco or just throw on a hoodie and just chill out and vibe. Or it can be like going on a doing a triathlon if I wanted to. Like, it could be anywhere. So I like doing a lot of different things in my free time. So
that's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
How about you?
Me?
Yeah.
I like making the films. I like doing the podcasts. I like doing stuff like this, traveling out.
Hell yeah.
I've just found I'm back home here, back in the hometown I'm at, and when you come back and you feel like you're not bringing ruins to ruins, it feels like you can build up again. When I came back from Alaska, it was much. It was not fun for that week, but now that I'm back here after being in Tennessee, and things just feel so much better. I feel like things are in place correctly, and I feel like I'm fostering relationships that matter, that aren't fake, that aren't fabricated. Then
that's huge. I feel like I'm in a similar space, so good job to both of us.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, man, I mean, it's nice how things go. Him and I were just over at Tremont Coffee Company, and we were he was macking on one of the ladies there too. That was pretty funny.
No, that was the other place.
That was the other place. Well, you might as well be both, because this guy definitely does have the charisma of a player. So yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Oh my gosh.
So were you scheduled to talk about any of those? So you talked about the first album. Were you planning on talking about? Let's do it.
Would you like to?
Let's do it.
Would you like to?
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit more about what is first, actually, I do want to ask this first. What is the difference between Derek and Shanklin? You mentioned it in your song that's actually going to be on your next project, Salvation, that's coming out later this year. But you mentioned it in the name. What's the difference between Derek and Shanklin?
So Derek is just like the person, right? That's the basketball player, the guy who goes to church. Well, I can't say every Sunday because I didn't go today, but that's the one that goes to church every Sunday or as many times as he can. That's the athlete. That's the human being. That's the brother. That's the that's the uncle. That's the friend. That's the son. That's the whatever to whoever. That's the person who's gone through the personal shit, who cries, who is emotional, who's vulnerable, who is a human being. Shanklin has developed into, I don't want to say like an alter ego, but it's like an image, as every artist does. And I think that actually accepting that it's an image and it's not just who I am, because when my dad did pass away, I dove so much more into music because that was one of my only things I had to be an escape. And I think it kind of sabotaged the relationship I was in at the time. And since I talked to that ex, she actually said the same thing, and we kind of agreed on it. Because now that there was some time, since we split up, when I did talk to her, she's like, I think that you saw yourself so much as a main character that you didn't always make time for other things. And I'm like, yeah, I can agree. And me and you had a conversation a couple months ago on our way to a show, and Ethan asked me, he's like, do you have an alter ego? And I'm like, I think I've developed it. But I think it's almost good that I've been able to separate the artist and the person. Because at first, because the things I talk about in my music are so personal, they were at first it was just the same person. I just treated everything like I was an artist all the time. Then I saw through getting hurt by somebody who loved my music. We got really, really attached. We were really close, and I got extremely heartbroken within really the last 6 months, 7 months. This all went down. And because of that, is when I started to separate the artist and the person.
Mm-hmm.
And I started to realize, like, the person has been through a lot. Like, a lot of moving, different relationships ending, you know, heartbreaks, different losses. You know, all my close friends are all across the country, so 2 of my other best friends are all across the country, and then you've been moving all year doing the seasonal job. So, you know, so I had to separate the two. So it's like, I'm not really ready to be Shanklin right now. That's why, like I said, I've kind of just been quiet, focusing on other things. Because Shanklin's the golden glasses, the spiky hair, the yes sir, the super hyped, like energetic, like, you know, the one that you see on stage, the one that you see on the album covers, the one you see in the music videos. And then Derek is just the human being, like, it's just a person. So, and Shanklin also has his times where he's down, and it's like, you know, but it's like an image. It's like MF Doom, like he puts on the mask essentially. And for me, that's my golden glasses. Like, I put those on, and it's like I turn into, like, that's why I wear them when I perform. I only wear them when I perform now. I don't wear them just around like I used to, because I know it's like, that's like my Batman cape. That's like my football helmet. That's like my escape. Is like, when I put those on, I have to be a certain person. And I think that's a good and a bad, like, but mostly a good. Because if I always put them on, then I'm always that person. I'm never just Derek. But if I know, like, hey, I'm having a tough time at home, finances are getting stressful, like, life is getting stressful, but I have a show coming up, and I have to be a certain, like, I have to do this, then having that to go to feels great, you know?
Definitely. What are your inspirations? Who are the people that inspire you most?
Who?
Yes.
So on the artist side, Logic's always been my favorite. JID, Logic, JID, Joey Badass, Capital Steez, Kendrick, J. Cole, Isaiah Rashad, Mick Jenkins, Aaron May. I mean, I could go on and on.
Marlon Craft. I mean, as a little kid, Hopsin and Eminem were huge. That's why, like, my first album kind of sounds like their type of music. And then who else? I love Mac DeMarco's been my favorite artist in the past, like, year. Love Mac DeMarco. I don't make anything that sounds like him, but I love, like, that is like Derek's favorite artist. Like, that's like anything that's not hip hop, that's my favorite by far. How do you think he smokes so many damn cigarettes, but he still has the best voice
Dude,
known to man?
He's got such a good voice. I don't know. I don't even know. I'm not even gonna pretend to know. He's just great. And then Mac Miller's another one. So yeah. So as far as artist inspiration, there's countless. You know, and even the people in my group, like Two Side and Charlie and Tyler Watkins and Master Puff, like all these guys that are a part of Rogue Ones and All Circles, I've caught myself throughout the years, you know, developing like tendencies of these guys. Like, you know, there's certain flows that Two Side has that I've taken or I've like emulated. There's certain flows that Puff has that I've emulated. And so I kind of get inspired by a lot of things, because I think that, like, I don't want to play I don't want to act like I'm just like not that I copy everything. Like, I develop my own sound, but like, I think the best thing about artistry is that you can take what you hear and what you see and be inspired by it. I didn't even mention like Nas and Biggie and like all those 90s people too. I love that stuff, the Phariside. Yeah, bro, it's countless as far as inspiration. I love it.
Yeah, definitely.
Earl Sweatshirt's a big inspiration right now.
Yeah.
Doom.
So you haven't, like, I remember back in your podcast with All Circles too, a couple things, with Odd Future as well with Tyler.
Yeah.
And that's how you started to listen more a little bit to Earl Sweatshirt. Is that correct?
No, actually.
Or is it the other way around?
It's the other way. So I actually really haven't even listened to much Tyler. It's really just Earl. But Earl's like, especially the last couple months, I've listened to a lot of Earl because I've been in kind of like this little darker mood, or like a little bit more sad mood in the last couple months. Earl's been like really hitting, like because it's like he lives in that kind of like muddy, gritty, like, sorry I keep bumping the mic, muddy, gritty, like a little bit sad but also real kind of mood, and I love it because I'm like, that's, you know, and you heard Restless, I show you that. That's like, you can tell the influence there.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that, like, after I complete my third album, I think that is a shift in my sound. I'm going to land that bottle once. After I complete
There's a Powerade bottle
album,
he's trying to flip on the ground and get it landing.
After I finish my third album, I think that's like when I set up my own studio and I have the time to produce my own beats, I think I'm going to start diving into that experimental side of hip hop. Only thing is, on YouTube, it's very hard to find stuff that's good that emulates that kind of sound, because it's so like creative based. Like all those beats that are like crazy loops and samples, that's all just like a God-given talent. Not everybody can just make that. So I want to get into sampling and learning how to like make my own kind of like experimental sound, and just like maybe grow as an artist and develop a different kind of thing.
How would you explain this passion to, let's say, I asked this question before with someone else that had a similar passion of something. Let's say you have people that are in their 50s, their 60s, they worked hard, they work a job, they have a family, and they're looking at the younger generations and they're seeing that they're wanting to become more of a content creator or become a musician or anything like that, and some of them may be thinking, what the hell is what's this? How is this like? How would you explain this desire, this craving, this yearning for making this art to someone that of a previous generation?
I think it just comes from I've always felt like I've had a purpose in it. Like I've always had a story to tell. Preaching like my sobriety, preaching my my struggles with like my mom, the loss of my dad now, going through different breakups, different losses, different trials, tribulations, and I've always had a unique perspective on the world as a person. So honestly, being an artist and writing and making music kind of was like a sixth sense to me. So when it comes to like the content side of things and the creation side of things and that's just almost natural. And being around such a good team in All Circles Media, having the cameras on all the time, got me like trained to be in front of the camera and trained to make content. And then when you put both of them together, when you just love it, and you have it's like asking like Tom Brady why he has a passion for football, or Michael Jordan why he has a passion, like how he has a passion for basketball. It's just natural. And like even me for basketball, like it's the same thing. Like I love it. I'm always gonna find time to do it. It's an outlet. It's like my escape. I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't party, so that's my vice. And and that's really what I want to influence the next generation. So it's like, hey, whatever it is for you, drawing, a sport, some kind of practice, if it's artistry, if it's anything, like find it and gravitate towards it, like hold on to it, because unfortunately people come and go, and all those temperamental things like partying, like drinking, like smoking, like those don't help. Those aren't even like they're vices for sure, but they're not good ones, and those don't do anything for you. So make your vice. Like I knew at a young age I had a very addictive personality because my mom struggled with addiction, and my father. And my dad was much better about it. He ended up beating it. But with both parents and other siblings and people in my life struggling with addiction, I knew that if I got into it, I'd probably be addicted to it. Whether anything, vape, weed, cigs, drinking, anything, hard drug. I knew that if I ever dabbled in it, I'd probably get addicted to it. So I just made the choice to be addicted to something else, which is my creation, which is, the lifestyle I want to live, which is the influence I want to have, which is basketball, things like that. So yeah, I don't know, like anybody who's getting into content creation, have a purpose. If you don't have a purpose, and that getting into anything, a job, like if you don't have a vision, if you don't have a reason, if you don't have a purpose, you might as well pack it up and turn it around, because you're not going to go far. I think that you can even attest to that, because you said that as well. Like when you started making music, you like didn't have a direction, you like just wanted to do it, and so you kind of felt yourself plateauing or stalling out at times. Now you just said on our way here, like you're like, yeah, I feel like I have at least a couple things to talk about, so I have a little bit more like fuel in the tank, a little bit more, like a little bit more crops that I can water now. With me, it's like I've always had those. I've always had like that purpose, that drive. So no matter what's happened and who's came and went, it just keeps adding motivation. It keeps adding inspiration. So
what's the 3 top things on Derek's wish list or bucket list
For as an artist or just in life?
in life?
Wish list. What do you mean by that? Like in the next 6 months, or like just long-term stuff?
Long term.
Well-
Where is Derek's ideal top 3?
So I want to eventually be able to have a family that, like, you know, is healthy. Growing up with split parents and you know, households that, I mean, I had a great living situation. I'm not going to sit here and act like I didn't, but just a lot of fighting. You know, like I said, parents were split, like splitting houses, people moving, people, you know, like just step parents. Like, not a bad situation. I love my stepmom. Like, she is like my mom. Shout out Siobhan. But like having those split households and only seeing certain people a couple days a week and, you know, bouncing back and forth. It's not a lifestyle I want for my kids. You know what I'm saying? I don't want my kids to be seeing, you know, dad come home drunk or mom out to the bar till however long at night, or, you know, you can't function without something in your system first. Like, I don't want that lifestyle. So I think my first priority, and this is where my life has changed, and this is the direction my life has taken since my dad passed, because I think when he passed away, it showed me how important family is. And so my top one is, like, I want to be able to have a family where alcohol, you know, smoking, weed, cigs, drugs.
Man, God is just giving you some energy right now.
Facts.
Man.
But I want a lifestyle where that's not in play, and I want to be able to have a family, you know, that I can, like, be the head of. I can be the head of the snake. I can be the, you know, the pillar. Like, I can, but that's like years down the line, you know. And then, you know, I think short term, I want to set up my own studio. I want to get a cat. Like, I want to get the car that I want. I want to, like, just like short term goals. And then I think third is I want to take the two things that I've always had such a passion for, in music and basketball, and I want to have an influence in them. So however famous I get or whatever career trajectory music has for me, I'm going to ride that wave. And basketball, I want to be able to open a rec one day, or like run my own league, and so that kids my age that, you know, might not have had the money to play on the high school team, or might not have had the recognition to play on the high school team, or like, just if they were like outcasts or they just wanted a place to go, something to do, this can serve as a way for them to use basketball as an outlet to meet new people and to find new inspiration and to find themselves. So, 'cause that's what it's done for me. And so I would say that's my 3 biggest things. Like, live a lifestyle and have a family that, oh yeah, yeah, nice, this is way better. Live a lifestyle and have a family that, you know, is kind of better than what I had. Like I said, I was blessed to have the people I had. My dad was a great dad. But, you know, seeing, like, the loss and seeing, like I said, the fights and the, like, just certain lies in certain parts of my family, I don't want to have that. And then second thing, short term, is set my studio up, because that's going to help me propel myself and get myself in a good place, in a bigger space, and get a little cat, because I like cats. You know what I'm saying? But that gives me some kind of companionship. That gives me something else to take care of. And then third thing is, you know, I train 2 kids in basketball. They're both, like, in high school, so I want to see them grow. And then I want to just give back. I want to find a way to use the things that I love to give back and inspire. So, yeah. Absolutely.
What is your favorite lyric that you've written?
Damn. I gotta look through my phone. I gotta entertain the people while I find it.
You got a new phone?
No, I just took the case off of it.
Oh, that's right.
The case was junk. All right.
Because you have
I have a lot of.
You have
notes.
Bars. You have a lot of notes in that phone.
I have a lot.
Do you have those backed up?
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
okay.
not yet, but I will.
You should.
Yeah, I should.
You should, definitely.
I have 509 notes.
509.
And almost all of them are songs. Like, I would say probably 450 are songs.
While you're looking through that, I do want to ask too, because we've had conversations about streaming, and we've also had conversations about, you know, like what Dizzy Wright has done in terms of his distribution and just the lifestyle as a musician. When did you start to have those like reflections on just distribution, like the business part of making this work, having something that's, because you've talked about having music too that's a little more exclusive, or has a price tag on it, but it comes with like Patreon style,
Patreon, or it's behind a paywall, or like selling vinyl. I think it just all fits the brand. Like, I like to write in albums. I like to make projects, even if it's not an album, it's an EP. And so, the fact that, and I've always been inspired by 90s stuff or more old school stuff. So, unfortunately, there's always this big like tug of war and push and pull of, do you go quality or do you go quantity? Like Kendrick is a great example of going quality. He doesn't put music out in years, but he's Kendrick, so he can. Right?
Yeah.
And
aside from the Drake disses.
Exactly.
That was an exception.
Facts. He had them in the chamber. But, he's Kendrick, so he could. Somebody who's like me, who's nobody, is like, yes, I have 20,000 streams on 2 songs, but I'm not famous by any means at all. So being that I'm still like new, being that I'm still upringing and upcoming, playing that exclusive card is like, can't really do it, right? So you have to just develop a good fan base, even if it's a small one. But I think people always want what they can't have, and I've learned this in sales. And so, if I put things behind a paywall and I don't just put things on every streaming site all the time, I wonder what it would do. I haven't tried it yet, but I've experimented, and I've kind of like asked questions in my head of like, hey, maybe this next album goes on all platforms, and then maybe I throw out a couple singles that are behind paywalls or are exclusive to certain people, and see how they do.
Yeah.
And then I can always put those on the mainstream services and promote those and network and playlist them. I can always do that. So let me experiment with other things.
Yeah.
So it comes from a place of like, let me build like a brand, and hopefully maybe like once I build a fan base big enough or just strong enough, even if it's not very big, if it's 100 people that are willing to pay money and it's like enough demand of it, then it's like, why not at least try to make it exclusive? Because I'm the artist. And unfortunately, like I said, money is a thing. So, you're going to pay, bitch.
Yeah, definitely. I thought about it too. And also, like, that's one of the things you can do where if you put it on a streaming service or something, or I'm sorry, if you make it exclusive to people that pay or have like movies that are on HBO, for example, then that's a run that's exclusive. So people will have to either purchase it or go to shows. So if it's not on streaming, then it's like if they go to a show and see it live, it's like it feels so much more
exactly. And like I value the in-person connection. I value the listening to the album as a whole, not just picking out a single. I value that. So if I value it and I want other people to value it, me just throwing shit at the wall and saying, hey, go stream my music, make that make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not, I don't want people to do it. I wouldn't do it myself. Like, because when people just put a song on their story, I never swipe up.
Right.
Like, as a consumer, I'm like, it's very rare for me to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go listen to that song now. So, fuck that. Respectfully, like, I'm gonna at least try to do my own thing in a sense of like, that's the, like, because we're in the day and age of, like I said, there's no right way to be an artist. Me and you've talked about this so many times. And so everybody's got their own aesthetic, their own vibe, their own way that they do things. And so if none of them are right or wrong, why don't I just do the one that fits and makes sense to me and my brand and my aesthetic? Right? And so if I want people to slow down and listen, I'm only going to give you a crumb, until you have the full sandwich.
Yeah. I'm
not just going to give you the full sandwich, because then you're only going to take it one bite anyways.
Yeah.
So I might as well at least give you like little drops of the bread until until by the end of it you ate so much damn bread that you just ate the whole sandwich,
Yeah.
Like, or something like that.
Like, you got to work for the picture of the phallus,
Like, you have, like, if it took me different life experience and months and years to create this stuff, I don't want somebody to hear it in 30 minutes and move on with
and then
day.
move on.
Like,
I think that's where I just thought of Kanye West too, like the way that he has done live events and he has now released the music on time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it creates such an anticipation for when he finally does, with the Vultures or with Yandi or with Donda, for example. It's like all of those things, it creates an urgency or an exclusivity that I don't think enough people really instate. So the fact that you were showing me, these posts about what Dizzy Wright is doing, like, that was a big inspiration. That was probably, I think,
Shout
that was
out
the
Dizzy.
thing that
He's on my 3rd album, by the way, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't know.
So, I mean, it's nice to see, because then it's like working with you. I know that the music videos I've recorded for you so far, none of them have come out.
Yeah.
But I know that
They're going to. 100%.
they're going to, and it's like, it's in due time.
And I just want a purpose out of it. Like, that's what my biggest... I know me and you've talked about this, but for everybody listening, like, that's my thing, is, like, I don't want to just put my music out for the same 300 streams everybody else is going to get. Like,
Right.
I want a purpose behind it. You know what I'm saying? And so, sure, I'm going to put money into playlisting and money into promotion. But, like, if I don't have the amount of... Like, think about this. In today's day and age, we're not just the artist anymore. We're the artist. A lot of times we're the producer. A lot of times we're the engineer, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the producer and engineer, but I will be here in the next probably year. And then we're also the content creator. A lot of times we're our own videographers or photographers. And then on top of that, we're also the label. We're also the bank. We're also the promoter
Mm-hmm.
and the performer. And we're the wardrobe.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like... So when you think about, like, bands, or when you think about artists, they have all these different people in place to do these things. They have 3 different mixing engineers. They have 2 different producers. They have, they have people who do wardrobe. They have people who are their roadies. They have people who are their promoters. They have people who are networkers. They have fans. They have all these things. When you're an upcoming artist, you have to be all in one.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I have to be my biggest fan, my biggest critic, my promoter, my content creator.
The one sending out emails.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to do that.
The one doing the mixing sometimes, doing the production.
And if anywhere that I can't do it, you have to pay somebody to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like I said, the engineering and the producing, that's not me yet. So I pay Charlie, or I pay the people who make the beats on YouTube, for the rights to use it.
Mm-hmm.
Or I pay Charlie for the recording time.
Shout out to Charlie too, by the way.
Charlie.
His production is really good.
Crazy.
He brings out like
crazy.
5 plugins, and I'm just like, I use
amazing.
Limiter on FL Studio, and he's like, bro, I'm like 10 levels ahead.
Yeah, no, he's amazing at it. And then, like I said, I want to set up my own studio. Well, if I want to get anywhere to the same quality that I'm used to, you know what it's going to take? A lot of money. The promotion, all that is money, because I'm not just trying to play in the algorithms. All the algorithms are all money based anyways. And so once again, it all comes down to the dollar. Like, I want to travel, so I want to tour. I can't do that broke. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I like having to be the promoter, having to be all these things. It's going to come down to the dollar, and I don't want my music to be put out for 75 people to like hear it one time and move on with their life. So, I'm going to not put it out until I am ready to put it out, and then put thousands of dollars behind it, because that's what it deserves, and that's what I deserve. I didn't make this shit for 200 people to listen one time. I made this shit to grow. You know what I'm saying? If I can't grow from it, what's the point of putting it out?
Yeah, I feel really, really good, and I feel, that when I was making music too, you had taught me just that working in a team, like you were mentioning all the people that are usually part of a multi-million listener audience, and the more people that you have that are going towards the same thing, even if it's one extra person, it's like the odds of you getting out there more is tenfold, because if it's 100%. Me and you're doing the music, you're doing the production or learning the whatnot, and then I'm doing the video, I'm adding some of the promotion, I'm doing the submit hub or whatever it is. It's like 2 people putting their same energy. It's like you could be sleeping, and I could be the one that's getting you an extra 10,000 streams 100%. By next week.
And I've been so blessed to have Ethan, and I've been so blessed to have like All Circles Media and the team, but if my life has taught me one thing, it's that nobody's ever going to always be around forever.
Right.
If you are, great. If All Circles and Rogue One stays together forever, and it's always like, I can always have it as like a resource and an asset. And great. I'm not going to rely on it though. And if I always like keep myself dependent on it, I'll never grow. So it's like, that's why I want to challenge myself to learn how to produce, to learn how to engineer.
If Eminem was like dependent on D12, then he would be a much different person.
You wouldn't be shit. That's how you become just a part of, that's how you go down. Like when Capital Steez passed and when Pro Era kind of like, like not crumbled, but when they got shooken up, Joey Badass kept going because he was Joey Badass. But like, you don't hear of Desi Hines, you know what I'm saying? And he's a dog. He was such a good artist, but you don't hear from him. Or CJ Fly, shout out CJ, we've talked as well. He's still making music, but it's not like he like kept going up with Pro Era, because when Steez died and kind of like the main head of the snake passed away, like some people who not were dependent, but were, they were just part of the group. Like, I don't want to just be part of the group. I'm my own leader in my own way. And so I'm eventually going to get there, and it takes practice, it takes skill, it takes growth, it takes all that. So, and it just gives me new challenges. Yeah. You can't ever grow without learning new stuff.
Yeah. And working with you as well. I mean, it's just taught me so many things about why I do it, why I did it. It's like, it was fun, but you also just gave me my dad, you, and my stepmom gave me the pretty much the gist of what this all means, and that's why I've stopped a little bit, and I'm more so on the other side of putting my ego away and helping someone out that I know has the hustle.
Yeah.
My dad told me, you don't have the hustle for this.
Yeah.
You're pretending as if a hobby is going to be making you money and you're going to be saved from employment. That's where I was in Florida when I was unemployed. I didn't have much going on. It's like, and I was just like, it's time to break things down and move to Alaska and really think about my life. So
100%.
Part of you were definitely part of the transformation and where I'm placed here. And now it's like, I'm so excited for an outcome where we could be at South by Southwest.
Or on the radar, or just traveling or whatever. Yeah.
Like to be the taco to the Tyler, the Creator.
Yeah.
In a sense. It's like
100%.
That's just exciting.
It's so exciting because I know, and this isn't me like being arrogant or cocky for anybody listening, but just the way my life is, like, I have to do it. I have to. It's not like a matter of if, it's not a matter of when or want. It's a matter of like, I have to do this because I don't have a security blanket. I don't have a support system anymore. So when you're back against the wall, 9th round, like 9th inning, fourth quarter, like, and you gotta go and you gotta make some shit shake. Like,
you gotta take that shot.
That's where I'm at. So it's like, okay, my motivation is the fact that I'm going to, like you said, I'm going to set up my studio. I'm going to be on like a South by Southwest. I'm going to be on the radar. I'm going to travel. I'm going to put out Shuriken. I'm going to put out Salvation. Like, I'm going to do these things and not just put them out, but like, they're going to be as big as I intend them to be. But I have to do certain things leading up to that. I have to get money coming in. I have to be the best at my occupation, like my job, as I can be. Good thing is, because I've developed a lot and learned a lot as a human, my job I'm also very passionate about. I sell insurance. And a lot of people are like, oh, you're a salesman. Oh, you're just trying to get in people's pockets. No. When my dad passed, he didn't have any life insurance. So I have a testimony into it, because if he would have had any money saved up, or if he would have had any policy, when we lost the house after he passed and when he passed away, it would have been a whole different game. So it's like, even my occupation, I'm passionate about. I have a testimony. Everything I do, I have passion, purpose, and testimony in it. And so if my motivation is to make music and to be able to put money into that, grow from it, if that's my motivation, I'm gonna do it, like, because I love it. Real quick, I don't know still my one singular favorite lyric, but I guess I'll say one. This is my third album, and this has been since I wrote it, like one that I love, plus it immediately came to mind. I don't know if this is my favorite. This is one of them. So you ready? It's really simple, but I love the wordplay, which is, I walk through the fire, a robe doused in kerosene, can't really tell if it's kerosene. It's so simple, but it's a caption. I walk through the fire, rubbed out some kerosene. Can't really tell if it's kerosene. Bow. Simple, but it's solid.
Bow.
It's also like the delivery. It's a punchline. You want to hear another one of my favorites?
Sure. Let's hear another one.
It's in Paperweight. This is also going to be on my third album. This is kind of like 4 or 5 like lines, but let me continue this story a little bit after the time that I wrote this. The girl that I referenced in love with the smoking is loving the smoking. The people around me, or the people I thought that I had to support me, ain't nowhere to notice. It's me and myself and my own. Still not with partying, drinking, and talking about it, so y'all can just leave me alone. Really, I chill at the crib or the gym with my brothers, or work till my energy lowest, or work till the day that my pockets are loaded. I hop in the pocket, I'm floating a bit. Don't make me start rapping on here. And I think if I have one more, these are all from my third album, by the way.
This is gonna be probably a next year release.
Yeah, it's a little far out still,
but in the meantime, later this year, your second album will come out, which
second album, EP, singles. Yeah, I'll have plenty.
you'll definitely will. That's Salvation too. I'll put a link as well in the description for everybody to go and take a look at some of the music he has out so far. But yeah, was there another one that you had?
Yeah, I like this when I wrote it. In a stalemate with death, gotta hope I don't take the bait and take my breath. My faith, only thing that's left, it don't break, but it bends like a motherfucker. I like that. All my pain intake got me looking for an end to the suffering. Voice in my head saying, toughen up, kid. Devil wanna fight, better knuckle up then. I'll be all good when it's done and said, and what I said, boy, I meant it. I rose from the past and came back with a vengeance. Stay flame with the penmanship. Or later in that verse, it's and how my father got me closer to the father of it all when it all ended. I like that a lot. Like when my father passed, it got me closer with God. So, yeah, no, there's a couple. I feel like every song I have 1 or 2 that I like a lot. So, yeah.
I will end with the 2 questions here. I'll start with the lighter note question, and then I'll end with my usual that I ask everybody on the show here. Derek Shanklin meal. Where is it at? What does it consist of?
Last.
We've had this conversation many times, and I think I've gotten 2 different answers, but I want to hear what.
So my favorite food is sushi. Love sushi. Sushi and like sub sandwiches. Those are like my 2 favorite things. Or like any like seafood I like a lot. So like one last meal, give me like some sushi. Specific rolls. There's like one called like a Belgian village roll at Sakura. It's like cucumber wrapped, mango. I think it's like lobster or crab in it, and like a couple other things. Bomb.
So you would do it. Well, I was also like kind of referring to if you had like a Travis Scott meal equivalent.
Oh.
Yeah. Not like your you said final meal. I'm like, no, you're not in jail, incarcerated. Yeah. I guess that is a good question too. So you would do that as your final?
I would do that with like maybe a good steak, just like a couple bites, and then like.
What's the steak cooked at?
Medium rare.
My man.
The correct way.
And
then.
No wonder I went vegetarian. I always had well done before then.
Yep, that'll do it to a man. Maybe some lobster tail, some crab legs. Yeah, I love that stuff. But like a Derek Shanklin meal. It would be a Subway. And I think it would just be the sub I get, or it'd be like, oh man, where else could it be at?
You said Subway and also Mr. Hero is one of them.
Yep, another sub place. So it'd be either one of those 2 places. I'd make a better gyro at Arby's. That'd be a good one. Yeah.
We gotta make a video sometime.
Or Dairy Queen.
Dairy Queen.
I know how you love your Dairy Queen.
I think Dairy Queen personally is mid, and he notoriously disagrees with me.
I just had it last night.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we'll make a video sometime, just going to each place and doing a Shanklin meal draft, and we'll do a group vote and see what happens. Yep. And then we will make that a promotional thing for the listening parties. It's just the Shanklin meal. Yeah. The Shanklin shake. What's the Shanklin shake?
It's the bushwhacker we'll put into it. Shout out Tremont Coffee.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm on 2 cups of that right now and like 6 hours of sleep. So
This guy's floating.
I'm literally floating, but on kerosene. So it could light on fire at any moment.
What is the heavier question? Let's get into it.
What would your advice be to people that are listening?
Oh yeah, here we go. This is where you keep me really talking. I don't want to just be like, oh, follow your dreams. Obviously follow your dreams. Be thankful for everything, good, bad, ugly. Find a way to be thankful for it. Use whatever negativity you have in your life and use it as motivation. So like personal testimony, anything I went through with my mom, my father passing, my grandfather passing, any breakup I've went through, people moving in and out of my life, change in my life, has all grown to shape and inspire me to add fuel. And I was just recently talking with Ethan earlier today, and I told him, like, I think I'm in the best I'm the best version of myself, and I'm not happy. Like, I wouldn't say I'm unhappy, but like I'm going through a very dark and kind of just numb and like a trying time. Very isolated. I feel very alone quite a bit, to be completely real with you. But I feel like I'm the best version of myself because the hunger and the fire and the chip on my shoulder that has grown from it, like I've always had it, but it gets better. It grows even more, you know what I'm saying, with that change and with that loss and with that pain, that fire. Another one of my favorite lines, that my fire burning like Cyndaquil and I'm restless. Like, it's so true. Like, I work 10 hours a day, play basketball 4 hours a day, and usually find time to like write or make music for at least like an hour or two. At the end of it. There's 24 hours in the day, and I'm literally being productive towards all 3 of the things I want to be productive to for 16 to 17 hours a day. And that like drive and that will comes from the fact that I've lost so much. And so my advice to people would be, no matter who you are, where you are, what you've lost, what you have, what you've gained, be thankful for everything. Like, because people that you have, it comes and goes. So cherish it while you're here. Live in the moment. Like, embrace the moment. I think like that's what makes me so great, is that when I perform, I embrace the moment. When I play basketball, I embrace the moment. Like, so some people might look at that and be like, damn, this dude, like, he's going hard, or he's putting his all into this, or they might like at first like maybe laugh at it or like not take it serious, but like real people are going to see that passion and they're going to respect it, and they're going to like somebody told me this at the rec when I was playing basketball 2 days ago. He said, dude, I love playing with you because you make everybody better. Like, not just how good you are, but how competitive you are. And that like really felt good to hear, because like I said, I want to inspire people. So that felt good to hear. And that competitiveness, that passion, that fire, that all comes from as much as I've lost and as much as I don't have. So like I said, be thankful, I would say, like, is my biggest thing, because it can get so much worse. Like, my life is so easy compared to other people's. Like, when you break it down, there's always going to be somebody that has it way worse and that wants it way more. So just be thankful for what you have, and even what you don't have. When people do you wrong, be thankful for it, because there's a lesson to learn from it. There's a way to grow. And so, as tough as it is, I think that's where God comes into play so much for me. Because, to be honest with you, I've kind of fought with God a lot this summer. I have a very strong faith. I talk about it a lot, but I fought with him a lot this summer because a lot of things that I prayed for didn't work out. And so I kind of wrestled with him. We're like, dude, like, I know you're not like a genie, you're just going to give me what I want, but, like, bro, why do you keep taking away from me? Like, why do you keep taking things away? That's what it feels like, at least. And I think he did it because he needed to put me in this isolated state for me to, like I said, really, like, grow and, like, have that passion and have that fire and, like, really push myself to a point beyond my comfort, a point beyond what I was previously doing. And because of that, I've been able to win the championship in basketball and hit the game-winning shot at the buzzer and finish my 3rd album. And, I've had all this inspiration to do all these things. And I'm nowhere near hitting my goals yet, but I I know I will, because I know I have God, and I know I'm thankful for everything I've had, once had, and everything I'm going to have in the future. So I think my biggest piece of advice is find purpose, chase it, and be thankful for whatever situation, good or bad. Be thankful for it. Sooner you do that, sooner you probably, find some type of like peace with things.
Derek Shanklin, thank you for joining me.
What's yours?
What's mine?
What's your piece of advice?
What's mine?
Yeah.
This is the first time I've been asked this.
See, look at that.
Yeah.
Bow. Your turn. Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
you almost just stepped on my computer there.
It's like when Scarface is like, your turn, shot dude.
Yeah. Two things I would say. One is that when you open doors, it doesn't mean that other ones close.
Mm-hmm.
It's merely based on what you think you can and cannot do, what you're able and unable to do. And once you liberate yourself from that need to be a certain person or to do a certain thing, and you simply sit in a room in silence and let things happen and let life take the reins a little bit and teach you the lessons you need, then I feel like you're going somewhere, even if you're not necessarily making a map and destination.
Yeah, fuck that. No. Yeah, no, scrap that shit. Take the bull by the horns and throw that motherfucker.
He's my Obama anger translator.
Yep.
The other thing I would say too is that so many things are out of your control.
Mm-hmm.
So many
Oh, for sure.
things. Politics, religion.
Religion's
What the guy across the street is going to eat for lunch and what he's going to text to other people. It's so out of your control.
Yep.
And there's so many things that you don't know that's happening.
Yep.
And the sooner that you realize that, and the sooner you embody that idea that all you really can do is control the physical parts of your body and your mind for the most part, with many exceptions, once you realize that in this gigantic world of yours, all of a sudden you don't feel like a tiny speck. It feels like you're grounded, and you feel all of a sudden just so much more free once you've agreed with reality, which is, hey, you can't control everything, and your mind is the one thing that's really controlling you.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So
I think another little thing that I would add on personally is like hold on to the people closest. Like, because of that same thing I was talking about earlier, he said that you can't control things. So people are going to change. People are going to pass away. People are going to leave and come and go and all this other stuff. And so
they're really the only thing that matters is the people.
Yeah, it's like, what's the point of the journey? Like if you're so focused on just the destination, you're going to miss out on so many cool opportunities along the way. And so, having lost so many people and so many people coming and going in my life, I've really learned to just hold on to the people I have, like, and very dearly. And, and I said that goes back to the thankful thing. Just be thankful for it. Just be grateful for, okay, I might not have the kind of relationship I want, or I might not have a relationship, or I might not, like I said, all my friends might move away, or I might not have my parents in my life, but the few people who I do have, the team that I have in basketball, these kids that I train, like they give me some purpose. Some of these people that like are dependent upon me, like that are relying on me, like my grandma's one, like I'm trying to make sure she's taken care of. Like I feel like when I think of you, when I think of like the music group, like I have to be like I'm a part of something bigger than myself, And so that's another piece of advice I give people: be a part of something bigger than just yourself. That's why I love like my faith, and that's why I believe in God, is because it's bigger than me. You know what I'm saying? It gives me purpose beyond just myself. It gives me direction beyond just myself. You coming along and like really investing your time and your energy into what I'm doing in my career with music, like I have to be on my shit. You know what I'm saying? Because if not, like I feel like I would be doing not just a disservice to you, but a disservice to myself. And so when you have those people that are relying upon you, when you're a teammate, when you're when you're a member of a group, when you're a member of a church, when you're a member of a collective or something like that, when you're a father, or when you're a brother, or when you're a caregiver, caretaker, whatever the case is, a mentor, a mentee, you're bigger than just yourself. And when you have that purpose, even when you as the human is struggling, you still have other things that you can gravitate towards. I think that's been such a huge thing for me. The fact that I have Rogue Ones in all circles is huge. Helped me so much during a really, really tough year. Same thing with you. Same thing with the family that I do have and that I am close with. Same thing with friends that I talk to and have in my life. So be a part of something bigger than yourself. Find God.
There you go.
Bow.
All right. Well, Derek, thank you for joining me on this. Appreciate seeing you again. And a couple years from now, it's going to be a whole different game.
Oh, dude, we're
going to have thousands of people listening to this podcast live.
They're chanting my name in 2 years, 3 years. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
I guarantee it.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for listening to this one here. This is Derek Shanklin here.
Yes, sir.
He will have all of his stuff down in the description there.
Woo! So I'm just ad-libbing on my favorite.
So we will be back next week with another guest, but in the meantime, as Joey Diaz has said, stay black and stay awesome.
Keep it tight, John.
Words well said.
New tragedy scene. Shank been a killer on every beat. Every season I'm facing defeat, but I rise back up like a true MC. Main character, hop on the track and I bury ya. Teen Derek felt inferior. Now I'm moving the earth like Terror does. All I did was just tighten up. Now they raving about the kid, saying the star's been born. They want more of the fire that I emit. I can't disagree. Can't disagree. Can we agree?